Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another series in Let's Get Loud. It's called New Beginnings with Gina Howard. And Gina is sharing her story, a rather interesting story of crazy faith, as she calls it, or her aunt calls her crazy faith. And we have heard her journey so far about her childhood in Honduras, how she manifested that faith and she got out of Honduras and she landed in the Cayman Islands. The last you heard, she went back to Honduras and she got her daughter and she returned to the Cayman Islands. And you're going to hear about how her life has unfolded in the Cayman Islands and has brought her to where she is at this very moment. Ladies and gentlemen, Gina Howard.
Thank
Gina, so we're back, and you're
Yes.
back with your baby girl.
Yes.
Yes, and she has been given a new name.
Yes.
Yes. And how has life unfolded when you came back with your baby?
When we got back, my second door
Mm-hmm.
was waiting for us,
Right.
and he had a place for us and everything.
Right.
So we moved in together,
Okay.
and everything seems to go smooth
Mm-hmm.
for a year.
Okay.
And after the year, I got pregnant with my
Mm.
second daughter,
Okay.
which belongs to door number 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then when she born, he wanted me to look after her more than the first one.
Okay.
So I think some type of jealousy got in there,
Mm-hmm.
and he wanted more attention for himself and for his own child,
Right.
which that became a conflict because at the time the first one was just a toddler, so
Right.
she needed attention also.
Right.
So it's like I wasn't going to neglect one to look after the other.
Mm-hmm.
So then we became warring against
War, yeah, conflict.
conflicts in the marriage, and it became so bad. I remember one time I was going into the supermarket,
Right.
and he said, no, he said, just take the younger one and leave the other one with me. And I felt like, no, I don't really want to leave her with him.
Right.
So we got into argument, and he kept her in the car. So when I was coming back to the car after the shopping, I see he was holding my daughter and she was crying. He was holding her way that I couldn't see her.
Oh.
She was back, her back was towards me, but I can hear her crying like when somebody in pain. So I run to her and I say, well, what happened? What did you do? And she was bleeding from her forehead. And I said, what happened to her? And I couldn't see because all the blood that was on her face. So I cleaned her, and when I saw she had this big wall on her face, like somebody had actually struck her in her face. And I said to him, did you hit her? He's like, no, she fell.
In the car?
In the car, exactly. I say, I had that feeling that he hit her. He hit her, and he was denying it. And from that day, she was scared of him, like literally scared of him. So it became more intense. Like he wanted more of her than he would try. If we go places, he would grab her and hold her up. And one day we had some helper,
Right.
because no longer after that I got like a job working at the St. Paul's. That was one of my jobs here, first one. And there was shift, in the supermarket. So when I was doing shift work in the night, he would look after her. Like when I would do the day shift, I will have somebody come in and look after her. I'll look after them both.
Right.
And I noticed that my child was getting skinny. Like she wasn't putting on any weight at all. And then the lady that was watching her, she said, have you noticed that your child had marks on her body? I said, what do you mean marks on her body? She said, yes, look right here where the pamper area was. There was marks on her, like fingernails, like mark in black and blue. And I took off the pamper and I said, oh my God, what is happening? And all I can think is him doing it. Because the helper are going to show me something. It's her doing it. And sure wasn't me. So I was like, we got into arguments, got to fight. He's like, no, I'm not doing her anything. But
Wow.
she was terrified of him. So then I started to notice more, like I started to pay more attention, right? And then I saw where sometimes he would offer, I gotta get out of the car, like get out of the car seat, and he would grab her, and I would start to look, and I see where he buried his nails inside of her, and she would scream out. It was him that was doing it, because I actually saw him one that day, and we got into these big fights
Right.
over my job. So I was like, how is possible this is happening now? When I thought things was going to be good,
Right.
there was turning into some horror with the same child that I brought here, right? And then the abuse started not only on her, it started on me, because I was defending her now. So he started abusing me. He started hitting me and doing things to me. And he was using alcohol, drugs, you name it. So then that whole thing that I thought it was going to be good turned out to be really horrible.
And that lasted for
8 years.
8 years. How did you get out of that? How did you close that door?
After years of abuse and torment, I remember that night I was coming home. The kids was not there.
Right.
There was no vehicle there. So I thought it was just me. So I opened the door. When I opened the door, I tried to put on the light. There was no light. And I said, maybe he haven't paid the bill or something. So I continued walking inside the house. And then when I was walking and got like in the living room area, I felt someone caught me by my hair and jerked me down to the ground. And the person wasn't speaking. So I thought maybe it's a thief or someone inside my house. So he dragged me by my hair, picked me up by my hair, threw me on top of the counter of the kitchen. And that's when he spoke. And he said, tonight I'm going to kill you. He put a knife to my throat. So when he said that, that's when I had a conversation with God. I said, God, if you're real, you need to show up here tonight. Because I felt like he was really going to kill me. I felt that this was a moment that I was going to lose my life.
So all the other episodes that happened to you in Honduras, you never felt like you were going to die?
No.
But that night you felt
Yes.
as if,
I felt this is it. And that's when I cried out and I said, God, if you're real, I need you to show up here tonight.
Was that your first time praying
to God? Yes.
And did he show up?
Yes. And I said, I made a promise. If you save me, I will run from this house and I will never come back. And I felt at that moment when he removed the knife from my throat. And I ran to the door, I ran into my car, and I left everything behind.
So you didn't find out where the children were or anything?
No. At that point, I was running for my life.
For your life, yes.
Because I was scared that I got out by the door and he changed his mind or something happened. But I felt that moment, God saved me.
And where did you go?
I ran into my car and I left there. I was so frightened. And I was in my car driving and I didn't know where to go. I didn't know who to go to. Because at this point, he had scared all my friends away. Everyone that would help me, he had scared them with episodes that he would do along the way. So there was no one really that I can go to. Because they were basically afraid of him.
Wow.
They were intimidated by him. So then what happened to me, I started to live in my car. Yeah, I lived in my car for 2 years.
You lived in your car for 2 years?
Yes.
So how did you bathe? How did you do the basics that we need to do?
In that time, I met door number 3.
Door number 3.
In that period, with that turmoil that was going on with door number 2. And I remember he used to go to the gym.
Door number 2 or 3?
3.
Okay.
He used to go to the gym. And he said, come, let's go to the gym. He said, because he knew that I was living in my car. I said, okay, let's go to the gym. And the guy knew him there, like him, and they gave me a membership for free. So I got the membership, And I used to pretend go to the gym, but was using it to bathe and to clean up and
Right.
get myself together. And then he had a helper that she was a godsend. She would take my laundry and she would wash my clothes and she would iron them, and it looked like I was $1 million person.
Wow. So when you say you lived in the car, so you slept in the car?
Yes,
So where did you park your car and sleep?
I park it different places. Like I start off parking it by the beach. Then I start off sometimes by sidewalks. In neighborhoods like in Crew Road, they have like sidewalks
Right.
off the street. And sometimes people will come up and run me and say leave, or we call the police. And I was like, I'm not doing anything though. I'm not hurting anyone. So I will have to go different places.
So door
Park my
number
car.
3, although he knew you were sleeping in your car, living in the car, didn't make an effort to help you?
He didn't have a job. He was living with his parents.
Okay.
Sometime I would go by his house
Mhm.
and he would sneak me in. I remember he made one he put blankets and pillows in his closet. And that's where I was sleeping. Because of his mom found out I was there. They didn't agree with it. Which I didn't fault them.
Right.
Because I was here married to door number
Right.
2.
Right.
He's crazy.
Right.
It's not normal.
Right.
And then he would be threatening them.
Right.
So which mother would want you with
Right.
someone with that situation,
So when all of this was happening, where were the girls?
with him, with door number 2. Because he took them. We went to court.
You went to court and?
I filed my divorce, and the judge in the beginning gave me the house, gave me the kids, like in a sense, like tell him he had to leave,
Right.
right? Temporary leave, I guess,
Right.
separation. And somehow he managed to revert that, they reversed that on me.
What?
And got the judge to got me out and put him in.
Okay, with your kids?
With the girls. So we went to court. I'm gonna tell you the last day in court.
Yeah.
Because it's too long if I say the whole
Right.
story in court. The last day in court, the judge went in full favor of him. Because his mom went there and she put her hand on the Bible and swore that I was sleeping with her other son, having an affair,
Okay.
and tell a bunch of lies on me. That I was unfit, that was this person and no good, can't take care of the kids,
Right.
one whole mess. Never mind that I took a file book this big of criminal records
Right.
that he had. The judge said this had nothing to do with it.
Okay.
I said, oh, this will define his character.
Right.
I don't have a police record. I never been in jail in the Cayman Islands. Yeah. But she said, this is not relevant to the case. I said, oh, okay. So she went in full favor of him and this lying mother. I felt like there was these 3 people against me. Never mind, my lawyer was terrified of the judge. She couldn't speak. Most of the time I was speaking.
Okay.
And the judge said I was being rude, but I was trying to defend myself. It was a battle. It was a war in that place that never went in my favor. So the last day we were there, the judge said, okay, I'm gonna hand the kids over to your ex-husband or husband, whatever he is at this point, and you're gonna give them allowance, and you're gonna have visitation rights. And when I hear all of this, my blood is boiling up. I'm getting angry.
Right.
I'm looking like I want to kill people right now. That's what was coming in my mind. They were the thoughts that were in my mind. I need to kill them. And at the end, the judge, and I remember having money on me that day.
Right.
I took the money and I threw it at them. I said, this is what you want. You want my money. You want my house. You want, because that was my house. I built that. You want my house. You want my car. It ain't about the kids. It's about my possessions. I said, you can have it all. And I said to the judge, just give me my girls. That's all I want. I can start over.
Right.
I said, just give me my daughters. Give him whatever he wants. But this is what they're after.
Right.
They're after my kids.
Right.
I said, you're handing my kids over to two monsters. I say, you don't know what you're doing. But I'm telling you right now, those two people are monsters. And the judge looked at me and they all laughed. I never forgot that judgment. And she said at the end, what would you like to say at this point? And I said, at this point, I honestly would like to have a gun to shoot you in your face, shoot her and shoot him. The judge said, what did you say? I said, you heard me.
Wow.
I said, that is the desire that I have right now. To kill you three.
You spoke your thoughts.
I said, because what you all have done to me today, they have no name. All what I had fight for so long, all of a sudden is vanished. It's gone. And when I said that to that judge, I walk out of there. I start to run again. And I start running and I hear her calling me. And she said, we're going to put you in jail. We're going to do this. That's all I can hear. And I came out of the courtroom and I could hear the lawyer calling me back. I said, there's no turning back from here. I said, you know the path that you had put me on. And I left there angry. I left there bitter. I left there with so many horrible thoughts to do to those people. I lost my mind that day. I literally lost my mind. I felt that what it had done to me, it had taken part of me out of me completely. And it was left in that courtroom. And I felt there's no point from the one living because I couldn't fight no more. I had 8 years of fighting here in all my life, and I was fighting, and I was like, how much fight can I do? How much battles can I fight? When do I win? When do I get to win? When does it end?
When does it end? But it came to an end, right?
Yeah. But it took a long time.
It took a long time.
I don't know why God have a thing, have me waiting.
That's a question that I cannot answer, you can answer, but like you said, sometimes when whatever you were looking for, you didn't know what it was, but when you saw it, you recognize it. I think it's the same thing with waiting. We don't know why, but when we finally see it, see the reason why we were waiting.
Yeah.
So then you got your divorce from number 2. We had to leave your girls behind.
Yeah.
And what happened then?
That day I didn't got the divorce.
Okay.
That day the process started.
Okay, it was the starting of the process.
Then Ivan came.
Oh, the hurricane. Okay.
The hurricane came. And started another scenario up again.
Okay.
They took a different path. Because now it wasn't about fighting no more, it's about surviving. So I had to make a decision for them to leave with him. Off the island. And I stayed. So I stayed and they left. They went to Houston.
Okay.
And they decided I was going to be the provider for my kids because of what was happening. I had a job. I was working at Tortuga at the time. And I felt I'm not gonna leave. I'm gonna stay to help rebuild the country. Okay. Because this is the place that I came with opportunity. And this is the place that embraced me. This is the place that I want to be. Okay. So I stayed. Okay.
So how long after did you finally get a divorce?
It took a couple of years.
Okay. And then how long did they stay in Houston?
They stayed there for a couple months.
Okay. When they came back?
No.
They didn't come back.
They was there and their grandfather called me one day and said, you need to come for your kids. Because their father is crazy. Okay. He's threatening me with a gun. I had to call the police. he's out of my house and your girls are with me.
Okay.
So then I had to make a decision to leave.
So you left Kenya.
So I left Cayman to go get my kids. So I went to the grandfather. I was there maybe 1 day or 2 days, and he said, "What are you gonna do?" And I said, "Well, this is the opportunity maybe that I get my kids back." Because I've been talking about this.
How old were the girls by now?
They was, let me see how old they was. I think they were 7 and 8.
Okay.
And I went there, and but his father said, "But you can't stay here. You have to leave because I don't want no problems with him."
Right.
So I called my families in New Orleans, and they said, "Yes, come." So we took the train one night, and we went to New Orleans. For the first time I've been on a train, but I was excited. They were excited that we were going on this train. And I remember when we got to the train station, I bought my tickets online and everything. And when I got there, they said that you have to go where they were seating us was the worst part of the train. It was smelly. Like people on the train for days, that they bathed and stuff. But that train coming from I don't know where, right?
Okay.
And I was like, I can't have my kids around these people. These people look like criminals and all kind of stuff. I was like, no, I gotta find a way to get them in there. Because on the train they have different sections where you have to pay. So I was like, I need to find a way how to get us in the best section, the VIP. I call it. So we went. I said, let's go for dinner. Okay. So we went for dinner on the train, but in the high class.
Right.
So when we went there, I didn't look into see where is the other ones that we can go.
Right.
So I said, you girls, we're gonna go find the bathroom where they have the better rooms. And we went through the train and we found that it had bed.
What?
It had a bunk bed and it had a bathroom and it was really nice and a chair. And I said, I like it here. And the girl said, yeah, we too. It's very nice here.
Right.
It's private.
Right.
So we stayed in there.
Okay.
We never came up.
Never came up.
No. And then when mine keep knocking on the door, it was not the captain, it was the one that's next to the captain.
Okay. I'm not sure.
Yeah. So he came and he said, do you know that you guys can't be in here? Because the upgrade you have to pay. And I said, oh, really? I said, we'll pay when we get to New Orleans.
Right.
Is that okay? And he said, you're going to pay when you get to New Orleans? Let me go ask the captain, is that okay? So he went, asked the captain. He said, yes. He says, when you get to New Orleans, make sure you're going to pay. And we paid with what? We're using my skills again, right?
Right.
So I was like, okay, girls, go to sleep. When we get to New Orleans, we're going to cross that bridge. We're going to figure out what we're going to say when we get there. So they went to sleep and they sit in the chair and just watched them. So we got to New Orleans. When we got to New Orleans, the same guy that the captain said came to me. He said, hey, happy birthday. I said, happy birthday. It's not my birthday. He said, the captain said, don't worry about it. It's fine. I was like, really? He said, yeah, it's okay. And we got to New Orleans. My cousin came and picked us up. And when we got to New Orleans, I thought I was in another hurricane. Yes. I was like, oh, I thought I was coming from a hurricane. But it looked like I'm into another. That was the impression I got 4 o'clock in the morning, because that's what time we arrived. I felt like coming over there, but we have no choice. That's the only place that say, come, we came.
Okay. How long did you guys stay?
It wasn't long.
Okay. It was another temporary situation.
Yes. It was very short because at the time we came there, what happened? Oh, I had some money and the money finished.
Okay.
So when the money finished, my cousin then said, you have to call their father. So, but that's the one I'm running from.
Right.
How am I gonna call him? They said, but there's no other way. I said, but I'm not gonna call him yet. I'm gonna go look for a job.
Okay, but you're coming from the Cayman Islands,
Nope.
you're not American papers, but you're gonna look a job.
Yes.
Okay, Gina.
So in my cousin had the place set up on the side. She had an apartment. An apartment. There was a guy staying there. He was from Chicago. He was very nice. I became friends with him.
Okay.
So I said to him, listen, how can I get a job? I said, I'm looking at a job. He said, job. We went down to this guy took me down to the Social Security, tried to get me help from the government. And when we get there, the government said, no, you need a social security card, you need all these IDs. I said, no, forget about that. I can't do that. I'm not legal here. I'm on a visa.
Right.
So anyhow, he said, Gina, what about if would you like to go to a bar with me? It's a bar. I said, okay, let's go. So we went to a bar. I did a bar at that.
Okay, then.
And I said, what are we looking for here? And he was like, you just come to hang out with some of my friends and have fun. I need to introduce you to some people. You need to get into the network. That's how you're going to get a job. You have to meet people. Remember I did that in Honduras?
Right.
So I was like, oh, I get it. I said, okay, no problem. So we went out, we hang out, met some people, blah, blah. So next thing he said, hey, do you remember the bar that we went to? Remember those people we met? Well, there's a party at a house and I wanted to be a mortician. That's the job I was looking for. He said, at that party, there was some morticians people. I said, really? I said, yes. He said, they having a party at the house and they invited us. I said, okay. And we went to the house. There was a lot of people there, morticians people. And there was one guy that knew a lady that owned a funeral home that not far from where I live. So he said, I can connect you. If I can connect you to that lady and see what happens. And sure enough, the connection came. And I got hired.
Okay.
In the office and not doing mortician, but and arrangement for funeral arrangement, coffins and the people when they're dead there, I would watch them, I would wait till the family members come, that type of job. So I started that job to be able to take care of my son and kids. And then my aunt said, no, but that's not enough. It's true, I wasn't making enough because I was getting paid on the day. So the winter was coming. And they needed jackets. And I didn't have money to buy the jacket. And she said, you have to make that call. I said, okay, I don't call him. So he said, yes, I'll send you money, but you need to tell me where you are.
Wow.
Nothing for nothing with him, you know. So I told him where we were, and he sent the money. I bought the jacket, bought the stuff, money done. Next thing he showed up.
Wow. And how was that?
Horrible. I tried to like convey with him with the whole situation, and he was like not civil about it. And I had rented a car while I was there, so that in the meantime I was working, he could be with the kids and go to the mall and do whatever. Because I had the impression he'd come to spend the holidays. Next thing, it was pouring raining one night, and I'm waiting on the girls who were supposed to bring him at 6. He never showed up.
Sounds like a movie.
He showed up in Miami. That's where he showed up, in Miami with the girls, with the rental car. So my friend, no, the one from Chicago, I told him, I said, my girl was taken by my ex. He wasn't my ex-husband then. We were going through the divorce. He said, what? No, we need to call the FBI. And we called them. He said, all you have to say that your kids were kidnapped and they will be here in a storm. All we say that they were kidnapped and the police surrounded the house. And they walk in and they ask one question. Where are you from? Where is your husband from? And I told him, that's all our jurisdiction. You have to go to the Cayman Island, file your report over there and do that there. But the police managed to find out that he was in Miami. They said, what do you want to do? You want to report he stole your vehicle because you report that? I said, no, because then they're going to keep him there in jail. My kid's going to be taken to the government and it's going to be a disaster. Let him go. Let him go back home. He came back again.
Okay. So you came back then too?
No. He stayed.
Okay.
I stayed good. I was like this up and down thing I don't like. So I stayed in New Orleans
For how long?
for 9 months.
Okay.
I stayed in New Orleans, and I remember going to the graveyard.
Okay.
I went there. This is the highest point in New Orleans.
Mm.
And when I looked anywhere, I saw New Orleans like
Wow.
in a bowl like this. And I saw disaster coming to New Orleans. And I went home.
You came to Cayman?
No, I went
Home
in the
as
home in
in-
New Orleans,
okay.
the house, and I said to my cousin, "Did you know that if a hurricane come here, you all dead?" It's just like, because I always used to talk about Ivan, I always talk about Cayman.
Oh, okay.
And they say, "You need to go back to Cayman because all you do is talk about it." I said, "One day I'm going back." And I said to them, "If a hurricane comes here, you guys gonna die. You need to get out of New Orleans." And I kept saying that to them.
Right.
And they were like, "Nothing is gonna happen." Lo and behold,
Katrina.
my husband came back with the kids in New Orleans. So now he's chasing me after me again.
Okay.
But then he used the kids as bait.
Okay.
So now I'm like, so now I'm with door number 3. Door number 3 came up to New Orleans
Oh, really? Okay.
while he was down here with the kids. He
Mhm.
came up. So then door number 2 come, and they got into a conflict, into fighting,
Wow.
into war. Then I got into beating him badly with a buckle of a belt.
Okay.
He was just torturing us.
Oh, wow.
He won't leave us alone. He would chase us. He would follow us. It was bad. He got me fired from my job. Yes. Then I got another job in a restaurant. He got me fired from that job. So he was just making my life difficult.
Miserable, yeah.
So then after that, after he did all of that, when I beat him up, he called the police.
Okay.
Then the police were looking for me all over the place. I was in this apartment complex, and I can hear helicopters, police on the ground, everywhere looking like I was this criminal.
Wow.
And then
So how did you get out?
Where
Out of New Orleans? How did you leave?
we ended, and I won't tell you. Okay, I was in jail too. They arrested me eventually. I turned myself in because the police were looking for me everywhere. So I turned myself in, went to jail, and I thought, what the heck? I'm gonna get lost in the system now, right? And while I was there, I got bail, and door number 3 found me somehow and bailed me out.
Okay.
And I got out, and then we run to Houston,
We went to Houston.
to his father's house, door number 2. So that's how I got out of New Orleans.
And how long did you stay in Houston?
Couple of weeks.
And then you came back to Cayman?
No, this is what happened. I was in Houston, and while I was there, I was going through depression and everything. And then his father said, "Gina, you have to leave." But at this point, they had stolen my passport. In New Orleans, they stole my
Wow.
passport. Took all my handbag, my passport went there. So I had no. And I said, "How I'm gonna go to Cayman? I don't have a passport."
Right.
So anyhow, he said, "But you have to do something. You can't lay here and die. You have to get up and go or do something."
Right.
So I came up with this idea that I'm gonna call door number 2 because I want to see if I can get Julia, my daughter. So I went to Port Arthur. He came. I called him. He came and picked me up, and then I went with him to Port Arthur and the kids. When we was there, all kind of stuff happened there. We got into fight again. I beat him up again. He called the police. The police run my thing and realized that I did something in New Orleans. So they arrested me in Port Arthur. And while I was there, the police said, "You're gonna go to jail." They said, "But if you can go somewhere, we will release you."
Okay.
So there was his landlord, my ex-husband landlord over there. And the man said, "I don't know you," he said. "But that's the first time he seen me. I don't know you," he said, "but I'm gonna give you some money." He said, "I might never see you again." So I made 2 calls. But he said, "Call and see if anyone will take you in. Then that's the only how you can go." So I called my aunt that adopted me, and she said, "There's no way you can come here." So that door closed. So then I called my oldest daughter grandmother in Miami,
Okay.
and she said, "Yes, you can come." So when I got that yes, then I don't have the money to go on the Greyhound. That's when the man offered, "I will give you this." He said, "Maybe I'll never see you again." He gave me the money. The police escorted me to the Greyhound, and I got on the bus. But I went to Port Arthur with the intention to take my oldest daughter, but it never worked out.
Okay.
So then I got on the bus to Miami. It was a journey of like 3 days.
Wow.
Yeah. On that journey, I met an ex-convict. He gave me money too.
Okay.
He shared his shirt, brief. I don't know what he'll give me all that for. And socks. So he just come out of prison, but he's gonna give me half everything we gave him. And I remember he got off the bus before I did. And he said, "Well, come with me because my girlfriend just inherit money. You can start over." And I'm like, "This is not my stop. This is yours." I said, "I have to continue, but I appreciate what you've done, what you're trying to do." So I continue. Got to Miami. And when I got there, then another challenge. So I'm here staying with the same woman that I took the child from.
Wow, life, Gina.
How
Wow.
does I turn around and end up there? What?
So how long did you stay there?
Not long, just few weeks,
Okay.
maybe a month. I think I was there. And then I remember getting a job there in a bar. She found me a job. She said,
Wow.
"Oh, you get your job." Now it was 2 nights I went there. I couldn't go back there.
So how did you get out of the United States and back to England?
Oh, I called someone here in Tortuga.
Okay.
I told her what was happening to me, one friend of mine.
Okay.
And she was like, you want to come home?" And I said, "Yes." And she said, "Okay, all right, come home." I said, "But I don't have a ticket, I don't have a passport, I have nothing." And then she was like, "Don't worry about the ticket. We will get you the money for your ticket. Worry about getting a passport or something to come back home." And then she spoke to the manager in Tortuga and she said, "Tell her to come, she have her job back."
Okay.
So I had those two things. Now I need to work on getting legal papers to come back. So I had my I called someone that I knew in immigration, and the person said, "You have a driver's license?" That's the only thing saved me. I have my driver's license in my jacket. And he said, I said, "Yes." He said, "Get your ticket. I will call immigration in Miami and I will tell them you're coming to Cayman with your driver's license. I'm gonna vouch for you." So that's how I came back.
So when did you finally get that divorce?
The divorce happened 2000, oh gosh, I can't, 2017.
Oh, wow.
2017.
And then did you marry door number 3?
Yes.
And how did that work out?
I was with him 8 years too.
Oh, you do 8 year stunts?
Yes. It's a
Okay.
new beginning.
New beginnings. All right.
That's
Okay.
the number 8 me.
years. All right. And then how did that work out? Was it any better?
No.
Oh, wow.
In that period of time, my mind was not in the right place.
Okay.
So then I started to do criminal activities
Oh, wow.
because now I'm on the path of destruction. Because now everything is taken away from me.
Right.
I just on one rampage, like pure destroying. So I was like in and out of jail.
Wow. Here in England.
Yeah. I was arrested many times. I won many fights. It was crazy. I was doing all kind of stuff.
Okay. All right. So did you have any children for doing it?
Yes, one.
Okay. And then after that door closed, what happened?
Then I met the one.
Oh, wow. So the story is coming to a flourishing end now.
Yes. I met the one that I'm actually with now.
Right.
First,
how many years now?
with him, we married in 2014. So what is it now?
7 years.
7 years gonna be in November, right?
Okay.
So, but first, he was my boss for 6 years.
Oh, okay.
And then he was my friend for 3 years.
Oh,
So then when you add it all up, it's
Mm.
16 years
wow.
that I know him.
Right.
But this one is different.
Mm. You finally come into a place of peace.
Yes.
Mm.
But it was hard for me to
Mm.
be able to deal with that.
Right. How did you manage to come from a place of torment into a place of peace?
I call it a place of dysfunctional.
Dysfunctional.
I was used to dysfunctional.
Mm.
And then when I saw normality, I
Ooh.
got scared.
Wow.
I didn't know how to deal with it.
Mm.
I didn't know how to act. I felt like in a place, an environment where it doesn't fit.
Mm.
So it was very uncomfortable
Wow.
to come from so many noise, so much abuse, so much destruction to something very silent, calm, focused, orientated person.
And how did you manage to start wrapping your mind around
I started doing, by this time,
that?
the Lord had found me, had rescued me,
Oh,
because I
thank
was
you, Lord.
lost.
Yeah.
He found me and rescued me. And
How did he find you? Where were you hiding?
I was in a depression.
Mm.
I was in a suicidal mind. I was in a pile of destruction.
Mm.
But nothing meant anything to me anymore. So that's where he rescued me
Mm.
and redirect my journey,
Yeah.
you know. And that's when he gave me the one,
Mm.
the husband that I
Your
have.
husband.
But I had to come to grips with that.
Mm.
I had to accept it because it's not what I wanted.
Right.
It's not what it had looked like to me.
Packaged and wrapped.
Right, the way I thought.
Right. Mm.
Because the Lord said, my thoughts are not your thoughts.
Wow.
My plans are not your plans.
Mm.
And he gave me Jeremiah 29:11.
Mm.
For the plans that I have for you is to prosper you
and not to
and not to harm you and to
Mm.
give you a sound mind. That's when I knew that God was involved and that I was going to be okay. But I still wanted to have a confirmation. I wanted to be sure
Mm.
that this was the right thing that I was entering.
Right.
Because all the decisions that I did in the past, they led to destruction.
Mm.
So I didn't want to go on that path no longer.
Mhm.
So I remember going on a trip to Jerusalem
What?
with the one.
Okay.
But at the time, I didn't know who we were
Yeah.
in my life. I just thought he was someone that was going to help me on my journey and you know, help me through this season that I was going in. So we both went on this religious trip to Jerusalem. And I decided on that trip I was going to separate myself from the group for 3 days to fast and pray and to ask God to tell me who this one was.
Okay.
If he was the real deal or if he was just a door.
Wow.
So I got my answer on the third day.
Yeah.
I was in the street of Jerusalem walking with a group of people. And these two people called us out. They say, you two come here. And we walked to them. They pray in the language and then they told us 3 prophecies. They say, you two will get married. You two will have 2 children. And you two will be in ministry together. And I look at him and I said, what? So I got my answer.
Wow.
I got the answer that I was looking for. I wanted confirmation. I wanted to know, who are you? And that will make the difference. Because in the other occasions, I never consulted God. I never knew God. Never knew who
You
to
just made
consult.
your decisions.
I was on my own. I thought that it was about me making my life or doing it my way.
Yeah.
But now I'm doing it God's way.
God's way.
And they understand that it was very difficult because I was used to being independent. Now the things has changed. Now I have to depend on him.
Right.
I have to depend on God.
Right.
Depend on what he said, what I should do, where I must go, you know, and who to be with. It's not about what I want no more. Tell people when you truly have that encounter with God, it ain't about you no more. You come up with a picture and it's about what God wants with you.
Yeah.
Because most of the time we telling God what we want, but it's about what God,
God
what do you
wants.
want with me? What is it that I can do for you? So I took on this heart of gratitude towards God for what He done for me in such a profound way. The way He saved me, the way He rescued me, the way He showed me. God was teaching me something that I never knew, because no one had ever told me that they love me. And God showed me that He had loved me unconditionally. Even when I was messed up, He was there with me. Even though I was going through my part of destruction, He said, I was always with you. And then He gave me a promise. He said, I will never leave you or forsake you. I'm with you until the end of time. So I hold on to the promises that He gives me. Now I have something tangible that I can hold on to. And now I don't have to depend on me doing it the right way or wrong way. Always, how do we do this? I have a partner. I have a partner that I rely on, not only God, but my husband as well. That we can walk this walk together. I also read in the Bible where it says, how can two walk together unless they agree? We have to agree. We have to come into agreement that we come in agreement with God. So we have the spiritual, which is God, and we have the natural, which is your partner. You know, and that is what I have learned. It's not easy coming from where I come from the mindset that I had. There was another thing in Jeremiah 29:11. He said, I will renew your mind. And that's what you have to work on, renewing your mind.
Which is a daily thing, right?
Yes. To get the thoughts. Or think the way God wants us to think.
Yes.
And that in itself is about owning my mind. Trying to get my mind, get rid of all the garbage that was deposited over the years. And to get the right things in.
Oh, Gina, what a journey. What a journey. And the journey still continues.
Yes.
The journey still continues.
Yeah.
The journey still continues. I thank you again for really sharing some really deep parts of your life that I hope will bring people to the point, viewers to the point where they realize that no matter where you are, no matter how far gone you think you are, that God is coming after you.
Yes.
He's coming after you and He's going to chase you until He gets you.
Yes.
And He's going to rescue you.
Yes.
And we have to also remember, like Gina said, that He forgives us. He loved her, like you said, from the very beginning. He loved her from the very beginning. He loves you too. So never forget that. Your journey might be similar to Gina's and you're going down that path of destruction. You might be in depression. You might be in a state of confusion right now. But just as He rescued Gina, He will rescue you.
Yes.
Gina, is there any final words you want to share with our viewers?
Yes, I wanted to say to everyone that don't be afraid in life to take chances. To go after what you really want. And make sure that when you're taking those risks, there is something valuable while you're doing it. That it would make sense to take the risk. And also, I will tell you what someone told me. Don't egos, because there's some egos out there listening to us. Egos do not hang out with blackbirds, which means you need to find your own kind so that you can soar together. And also, don't be afraid of taking chances and looking for opportunities to better yourself, to become better and not stay in the situation that you're in, because there is better. And also there is someone over there that God chose for you. And so that He's preparing them as He preparing you, so that then both of you meet, you'll be ready for the engage in the journey that He has for you. Because that's what happened to me. I realized over the years that God was preparing the one that I have now, as He would prepare me, even though I was going through all the struggles. But there was a preparation for me to be able to recognize the one when I see him, and to be able to appreciate him and
yes.
know that this is different,
Mm.
but this is the best.
Wow.
Because that's what I was looking for.
Wow.
The
This
best.
is different, but this is the best.
Yes.
Gina, what a way to end. This
Yeah.
is different, but this is the best.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it. You heard Gina's story, and you heard what she had to tell you, that no matter what, the best is always yet to come. Gina, thank you again. Thank you, viewers, for listening to a rather interesting story, and I hope it has been a blessing to you as it has been for us. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do, and share this video with someone else, because this story, I am sure, can help millions of people. So until next time, let's get loud together
Yes.
and share our stories so
Yes.
someone's life can become better because ours was shared.
Yes.
Thank you, Gina.
Thank you too.
Let's get loud. Let's get loud.